Gilda by Kemba. Kemba got the internet talking a few years ago after being asked to freestyle by Kendrick Lamar. Starting off as YC the Cynic, Kemba was influenced by KRS-One, Eminem, Andre 3000, and Mos Def, just to name a few. How do we feel about the follow-up to Niggas, Gilda? Here's our honest review of Gilda by Kemba.
Gilda.
Yeah.
By Kemba.
Back out.
Yeah, man. We saw that freestyle a couple years back. We did an album review for Niggas.
Yes.
We both thoroughly enjoyed that. So obviously we was gonna do the Kemba, whether it was today or next week. It was getting done.
Yes.
For sure.
For sure.
How do you feel about this album artwork?
I thought it was cool, man. I feel like it has a lot of different elements into it. So like there's a lot to really unpackage here. I guess it's kind of like it reminds me of like a carnival kind of feel to it or whatever. But I'm pretty sure it has a lot of meanings to him in it. So I feel like it captured a personal touch to it.
Yeah, I was wondering if, because on one of the songs he talked about, What a Day, he talked about wanting to go and get a thing of roses. I see the flowers on the front.
Yeah.
I see the carnival scene, the angel wings. I'm wondering if this was like one of his lasting memories, like one of those things that always stuck with him.
Right.
And that's why he wanted to use this. As you can see, he's in the clouds and she's got her angel wings on, so it's really deep.
Yeah.
And he has the crown on. I think he had the crown on the Niggas album cover too, so I felt like that was just kind of continuing on with that theme as well.
Right.
The flow of this project, man, this is an extremely personal project with him dealing with, I guess, dealing with the death of his mother and talking about how he feels about situations, kind of reflecting what he's learned from it, kind of like the down times, and then also coming back from it at the end.
Yeah, most definitely. I wouldn't say like a depressing album, but it is morally on like the low side at times. But it's definitely, you can feel the work through the journey, I guess you would say, of what he's been going through.
Highlights, man. First off, I want to say this guy's a human being. So, and human beings go through grief at times. So, to put that in perspective when you're listening to it. So, if you understand that the album's about his mom and his mom passing, you'll probably understand a little bit more. Because when I first put it on and I heard the work in progress, I was just like, it sounds cool. I'm not in a rush to listen to it, but it sounds cool. But after I started paying attention, it hit me. When I started listening, like, oh, this is about his mom, right? It started hitting me. I was like, okay. So, Work in Progress is a really dope song. It sounds amazing with all the R&B singers they have on there.
Yeah.
Captain Planet, that joint is fire.
Yeah.
I really love it. It's got some really dope lines in there that had me really laughing. There was one thing that I wanted to address when he said, I'd never learned anything from Jadakiss. And I've learned stuff from Jadakiss. I just want to point that out.
Maybe he meant
it may not have been the most positive stuff.
He's young. He's younger. He's 26.
Did I learn about credit scores from listening to hip hop? Absolutely not. Yeah. But I will say Mickey Fax was dropping jewels in that Funk Flex freestyle.
But he's talking about when he's growing up, though.
Yeah.
So I think he's talking about when he was a teenager.
It was a different field. It was a different field of rappers. I just want to say Mickey Fax inspired me to get my credit score past 800, and I did it. Shout out to Mickey Fax. Anyway, that song is fire. I love it. What a Day. What a Day is my favorite song on this project.
Okay, why?
And the reason why is because it actually made me reflect on my mentality with things. Because there's so many times
and all that.
There's so many times where stuff will happen, and I say I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you say that until the person's gone and they're not here anymore. And now you're just like, damn, I did all of this so we can, get all of this money and whatnot to help us. But you're gone. So now none of that stuff even matters anymore. Yeah. And it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like that joint was deep.
Yes.
That song hurt. Like listen to that. That joint is crazy. Dysfunction is another song that I thought was extremely deep. You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of like breaking down. It just seems like he's hit that point, but with his mom going, a lot of it doesn't matter, and it just seems like a lot of other stuff is starting to fall out of sync as well. So I thought that was dope. Nobody I Can Trust falls right into that.
Yep.
Peter Pan, he's just surrounded by a whole bunch of dudes that just don't want to grow up. That's the hip hop industry as a whole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
still see like 50-year-old rappers wearing like yo, bro, I love Slick Rick, but why is Slick Rick still looking like that? You know what I'm saying? Iced out, ice patch, 50 chains. Like, it's just like, it's part of, don't get me wrong, it's part of his image when he's performing.
Right.
But when you're not performing, you ain't necessarily got to step out like that. You took your eye patch off. Most people ain't even gonna recognize you while you're walking around. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Shout out to Slick Rick. I love Slick Rick. The Feels is fire.
Yes.
I love the Feels. Deadass is fire. My second favorite song up here is Last Year Being Broke.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm about to blast that song for the rest of this year. For the record, I'm definitely not broke, but I just really like the mentality that he has on that song.
Yes.
And then Alive featuring Eric Bellinger, I thought that was a really dope song to come out to end the project with. It was more hopeful. It was kind of him like giving praise to a lot of women. And I felt like that was him kind of like coming to the light after all of the stuff that he had kind of been throughout the project.
Yeah.
And by the way, him and Smino, they got some dope chemistry.
Yeah, most definitely. I love the way he opened up the album, Work in Progress. I feel like it's such a bold statement that many people make, but not like blatantly like he made it. Like, I'm a work in progress. I just really love the start of it and the build of the song, like you said, with all the R&B artists on it. Sounds beautiful. Captain Plano's fire. Exhale, I really love him and Smino on there, and I just really love how in the chorus how he was saying exhale it. I don't know why, but just the manner in which he was saying with it. His whole tone on this album, it had to warm up to me at first, because like I'm used to him on Nigga sounding so demanding and powerful,
having a lot of presence.
Yeah, and on this one it kind of took me aback, because it's just like, man, you sound really, like he said, vulnerable. And I listened to an interview that he had with I think it was NPR, and he was just like, he wanted to allow himself to be vulnerable to what he was feeling and everything like that, and he pretty much got that with this album. Like, you really felt that he was going through something. Like, every time he recorded this, he was probably just in his feelings. So I feel like that really catered to the weight of the album. What a Day is just, man, you have to listen to that song, because just how he keeps going on and on and on, I was just like, man, you hitting on so many things that probably a lot of people can relate to. Dysfunction, while I thought it was like a great like track, like I have some little dislikes about it, but I really like the message in it. Like, I really like how it sounded really deep down in the press, but you can really gather something from it. And I love how it's transferring in Nobody I Can Trust. It sounds like a hard-ass song, but it's got some deep-ass meaning to it. It can even relate to, like, the social injustices going on and everything in the world today and all like that. So I thought that was just really, really deep. Peter Pan is hard. Like, I just really love his flow on that. The Feels has to be my favorite track on here. And I just really love how, like, he's just once again going off the dome, just talking about the feels, basically what he's going through. And I feel like it's just something really, really honest. And the Dead to See skit was funny, and all that little dead ass. It was really, really dope.
He said, yo, man, he went, he dead, like gone, like the sister from Family Matters, like not that one, man, the other one.
Yeah,
and I was just like, yo,
I was rolling.
As soon as I heard that, I thought it was hilarious, because my wife's always talking about how she went upstairs and never came back down.
It was great, and I'm with you on Last Year Being Broke. That's the statement. I like at the end, like, he didn't finish it. He finished it with the voicemail. Yeah, this your last year being broke. Because I feel like that's what everybody always say to their friends. Like, yeah, you said that last year. You said that year before that. But, hey, it's the state of mind. You got to have that state of mind every year of your life. And Alive was just a really beautiful way to go out. I really loved how it gradually built. Because when Eric Bellinger came in, I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
He came in really, really hard. So it was a dope way to go out.
Lowlights, man. I can't really think of much to critique on this album. I really can't. I feel like anybody that would have a critique, like a serious critique on it, is probably not kind of like catching the vibe and is not allowing themselves to at least feel the emotions that he was going through.
I'm glad you said that.
When his mom,
that's so true.
With his mom passing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that because you really got to put yourself. If this is your first
You gotta
introduction,
empathize.
your first introduction into Kemba, like get ready for like to just emulate what he's feeling. And if you have to after this, go back and listen to Niggas because you'll see he's still on that level. It's just for this he was going through something. But if any lowlights I have, I want to point on Dysfunction. Like I just didn't really like how the production and his voices was mixed. It felt kind of like I had to read it with lyrics just to listen to it. And I felt that way about the feels as well near the end because when the band started kicking in and everything like that, I felt it when I first heard it, but I felt it even more when I read the lyrics along with it because I kind of felt like they put a lot of elements on his voice where I wish he was just really just speaking raw and like I guess I wish it would have sounded like a live performance rather than a little studio recording because I feel like if that was live, he'll be screaming into the microphone and everything like that. So that's not really a low light. That's just really a personal preference. And I feel like that song would be dope live because I can feel all the energy and passion that he can emulate from that song. But that still doesn't make it a bad song. But other than that, that's the only real two low lights I had was just some of the mixins on those two songs. And that's about it.
Final thoughts, man. Look, if I think everybody should give this a listen. Anybody that's ever lost somebody dear to them, you can listen to this and you're going to feel it just because you know the vibe and the feeling that the stages of grief, the 7 stages of grief and everything you have to deal with. You can hear it throughout this music. It may be too depressing for some people to listen to, but at the same time, you got to think everybody in life is going to go through that feeling. Yeah. So it's cool to get the music, empathize, and then there's bars and lyrics throughout with all of that feelings, and then just real talk on him reflecting, and he's, I think, using this experience to help you not make the same mistake by putting certain things off and everything like that. So
yeah, most definitely. I feel like this is once again a very personal album. It's gonna take you a couple listens because, like, after the first listen, I was just like, this ain't hotter than Niggas, but I put it back on and on over again, and I felt like every listen got me to appreciate it more. Like you said, you had to put yourself in, his eyes, what he was going through and everything like that, and appreciate what he was going through, learn about from the music, what he's trying to tell you. And I think in that way, you would appreciate it a lot more. I don't know if this will be something to go back to every time because of the emotional weight of this album, but it still is a powerful album in that own right.
Final grade. Easy, check. Go and listen to this. I think everybody should at least give this one playthrough. I feel like you owe it to yourself to do that as a human being, as a person that goes through emotions at some point in your life. I feel like everybody should give this one playthrough at least. Yeah. And I feel like you would actually find songs in here that you would like, that you would probably add to an official playlist. If you don't know for sure, at least just listen to the songs that I put on the playlist for this week. They're amazing. Check this joint out.
Yeah, most definitely check this out. I feel like anybody should listen to this. There's so much to uncover from here, and just uncover who Kemba is. He's a great artist. Listen to this. Go listen to his past work and everything like that, because I feel like he's a force to be reckoned with, man. I feel like he's underrated, and he could just pop up at any time now.